Can you show me how you see through the walls? So just swipe.
Today is a very exciting day. I'm going to show you exactly how I got that sound on the vocal using a brand new plugin that just came out. It's called Clarity Delay. I know it's been a while since I've reviewed a plugin, but this one's extra special. This is my plugin. Crazy, right? So when you're watching my videos, you're like, I wonder what Bobby does with all that ad money. First of all, there's not a lot of ad money. Second of all, I spent every penny from like the last 3 years. The YouTube stuff, my home studio, mixing, mastering, everything that I got from music went into developing this plugin. And I can promise you, there's a reason it took 3 years to develop, and it sounds killer. Delays and reverbs are essential for dialing in a dynamic space that allows instruments to gel with the other instruments. If you don't know how to use these tools right, that's why things feel disconnected in your mixes. It's something that so many people struggle with. I have like 8 plugins that I have to use and do all these crazy routing and send effects. There's a better way to do it. And it's to put everything into one package so that all you have to do is turn some knobs and you can get an amazing sounding space that just immediately makes all the instruments play nice with each other. So without further ado, let's just kind of run through the features really quickly and then start throwing it on different instruments so you can actually hear what this thing can do for you. So just as a teaser, check out what Clarity Delay does to these vocals from this band called Groundbreaking. And if you like this, definitely go and check them out.
In the spiral of your thoughts, you try to stay mindful, but everybody wants to go viral. Can you show me how you see through the walls?
Listen to that tail. It's beautiful. It's delicate. It doesn't get muddy. It just is massive, but the vocals feel right up in front. That's what Clarity Delay was designed for, to keep the source up front. So it doesn't feel like it's getting buried or pushed back in the mix like every reverb and delay plugin I've ever used. All right, let's get into it. I'm so excited. Can you tell? I just need to calm down. Here's Clarity Delay. Very quickly up top, have a logo that isn't that amazing. Here is the preset menu. It's pretty standard stuff. Undo, redo. We have the ability to switch between 2 different presets so you can figure out what works best for you. Love that. Copy just copies the preset you're on over to the other side so that if you don't want to necessarily abandon a certain sound, you can tweak it and then flip back and forth. This is so much fun. This thing, rolling the dice. This is an intelligent randomizer. We spent a lot of time fine-tuning this, but when you're stuck and you don't know what a part needs, or you just want something different and fresh, you just hit the random button. Roll the dice, baby. Look at that. Boom. Auto generates crazy presets for you. You can just plug your guitar in, run it through Clarity Delay, kind of jam out. And more than once have I been super inspired by this like really unique sound that was just automatically generated. And it was a thread that I was able to pull and develop into the coolest part of the song. So this is something that I think brings the fun back to plugins. You can learn about your plugin. Here's a link to the user manual. I spent a lot of time on the user manual. Might be worth checking out. A lot of cool pro tips. It's actually pretty good. So something you probably noticed right away is this big old EQ. That is like half the battle when you're dealing with delays and reverbs, is battling the buildup of muddy or harsh frequencies. I always have an EQ plugin either before or after it. I made the ability to have 2 separate EQs if you want to EQ after the delay or the reverb or before it, okay? So this is great for just kind of rolling off muddy stuff so it never gets into the reverb in the first place. And then post is nice if you're trying to craft the sound of the final delay on the way out, okay? If you want to just hear what the sound of the delay or the reverb is, you click on that solo button and it just makes it super easy to dial in. Let me just show you.
In the spiral of your thoughts, you try to stay mindful, but everybody wants to go viral.
So you can identify, where the muddiness is or the harshness, okay?
Viral. Can you show me how you see through the walls?
So now your delay tails are like awesome. Goes without saying, but we have input and output meters here and gain controls. If you hold control and click, it resets it to 0. If your gain staging is all out of whack, the meters will turn red. You actually should listen to that because it can influence the sound of some of these other processing that we have underneath the hood. So if your input level is like this,
So just
lower that sucker down until it stops turning red. Now here's the fun stuff. We have not one, not two, but 3 different channels that are all independent of each other. Okay, they all have their independent volume knobs and pan knobs. And I put volume knobs on every single one of these channels because it annoys me that you're stuck with dry-wet control to make final adjustments in the mix, especially since we have the ability to have 3 delays. It's so much better and faster workflow if you just could turn the volume down or up of 1 or 2 of the delays and not have to mess with the tonality of the overall sound by messing with the dry wet knob. And on top of that, that doesn't even work if you use this as a send effect. So this allows like ultimate creative freedom here and great workflow to get through your mix fast. And check this out, because I haven't seen this before. We have routing options. So if you don't just want these to be independent, you can actually just click through here and scroll through and feed this channel directly into this channel, right? 1 goes to 2 and then output. And then 3 is independent by itself. Or if you want to do something insane, you can feed channel 1 delay signal into channel 2 delay into channel 3. And you can create these super diffuse, awesome, ethereal sounding delays. I don't even know how to describe it. That's just something that doesn't exist for creators. And I just wanted to make it happen. There's also this little headphone icon that allows you to solo just that channel. So if you're trying to like dial in a sound or something sounds weird and you can't figure it out, you can just solo that channel. It's all about workflow. We got a bunch of options on flavors for the delay. I have a ton of different options, and by a ton I mean 5. So we have a very clean digital delay. The analog delay is sick. I use this all the time. This is my favorite vocal delay. The tails and the repeats slowly evolve as it goes longer and longer. So it just adds this cool complexity to the sound. Love it. Ping pong delay, you can choose left and right. And then there's this wide algorithm we developed so that you can make your vocals sound really, really wide. It's awesome if you just want to kind of tuck it in there, especially for like background vocals. It's one of those things where you're just like, what is that magic thing that's on the vocals? We have the ability to switch between time mode and sync. So if you have your tempo programmed in, you can just put it to sync. You can change it to dotted, normal, or triplets. Because I'm a metal person, that's what we like to do. We like to do weird stuff like that. I added a tap tempo feature right here. So if you don't know what the tempo is, just tap the tempo. And after 3 or 4 clicks, it's going to calculate the time for you. And if it is tempo synced and you just don't know what note it is, like it's a dotted or a triplet or something, again, you can tap to it and it will identify what it is. It'll find the closest match. So it's actually really cool and helpful when you're like, hear a weird syncopated delay rhythm in your head. You can't really figure out what it is. You can just tap feedback. This is basically just the amount of echoes that are going on with the vocal. If you made it this far, you probably already understand that. THD, what is this? This is analog vibe, baby. This is a Sony reel-to-reel tape machine that we literally modeled using machine learning. For real. We're getting fancy. So if you want something that has a little bit more grit to it, a little saturation, a little dirtiness, you just turn this up. You can do that on any of the channels. It's just one knob. You don't have to worry about like, oh, the bias control and oh, the wow and flutter and all that. That just slows people down from making music. Just turn this thing up, and it's going to give you an awesome sound. It reminds me of Soundtoys Primal Tap, which actually is what kind of inspired me to put this on this plugin. Down here, this is the magic sauce. This is my style. This is Raytown Productions right down here. We have a focus and a soften knob. Focus knob is going to actively go in and pull out mud from the reverb and delay tails. So it will never get muddy. I'm serious. And it sounds incredibly natural. Like you're not going to hear it doing some weird pumping thing. It just adaptively goes in and focuses the delay and reverb in the most pleasing way. Soften is my solution for when I use a ping pong delay with someone who has a sibilant voice. This is going to go in and obliterate any of the sharp S sounds or T sounds or sibilant sounds in a vocal or even annoying noises on a guitar and keep it from like bouncing around in your song. So this usually lives at like 70% for me. Stick with me because these next 2 sections of this plugin are mind-blowing. I'm serious. I'm very excited. It's not necessarily just a delay plugin. It's not just a reverb plugin. It's this weird hybrid fusion of both of them together. But without having a billion knobs and parameters that just confuse you and keep you from just picking a sound. This depth section was designed by me based on how I used to process vocals over the years to basically just diffuse the delay repeats into this beautiful ether. I don't know how to describe it. I just have to show it to you. It will immediately blow the vocal up in terms of its space and width without pushing the vocals back. It's magical.
We're only ever fed what you can't be, and no one gives a if you're happy, yet nobody wants to be ignored.
And once you get past around 40%, you're edging on the territory where now it's not a delay, it's not a reverb, it's this weird, magical smash-up hybrid of both. So there's really nothing like this out there. You have 4 different types of reverb flavors. We have room, hall, plate, and huge. Huge is my favorite, but it doesn't always work in all the songs. Plate is killer on vocals, so let's start with that. So when you want that like dreamy, ethereal sound, you just push this up. And then we have a length knob that allows you to dial in how big or long you want that reverb tail to be.
Wants to be ignored.
That's awesome. Sometimes you want it a little bit tighter.
Losing all their minds in the smoke.
Sometimes, let's say you're on the verse and you don't want it to get too crazy because this plugin is just like so massive. So you just want it to chill out. And then when the chorus hits, you want it to explode. That's why I put this in here. This allows us to control the stereo field of this space effect. Verses, bring it in like to 50%. Chorus hits, push it up to 100%. Automate that up. Every parameter on here is automatable.
The smoke screen, directing our attention, new we can't see. Don't you want to be a little more?
Right, mono. Let's check out the hall. You can control click to set these back to default values.
Attention, new we can't see. Don't you want to be a little more?
Room is literally what it sounds like. So it's more like early reflections than anything, but it has a really, really cool effect if you have something like a ping pong delay. So if we go to something like ping pong,
Be a little more.
it just fixes all the problems with a ping pong delay. It makes it so buttery smooth. Let's just destroy some stuff with huge. I want to show you what this does.
Slowly, losing all our minds in the smoke screen, directing our attention, new we can't see. Don't you want to be a little more?
Isn't that awesome? It adds this amazing momentum behind the vocal, and it sounds killer when you have this on something like a synthesizer. And don't get me started about epic guitar solos, because it works so well on those too. Let's talk about movement, because this is also insanely fun to play with. Quick crash course here. Duck knob. All you do, turn it up. If you want to duck the delay signal, this little slider is your threshold setting to define the ducking threshold. And then this other outside meter is going to be your gain reduction.
Lonely, we're only ever fed what you can't be. No.
So you can hear when you really aggressively duck it, how the delay and the reverb, everything kind of hides below the vocal as it's going, and then it just lifts into the song. You can do this rhythmically because my release settings are timed to either the tempo that you have in your session, or you can do manual time mode. You also have a hard mode, which is a little bit more aggressive in terms of the compression, so you can really stomp down any of the delays while the vocals are going to maximize the clarity of the vocal, and then it can release slowly or whatever when the vocals are out of the way. Down here is the gating section. This is a little bit more complicated because not a lot of people put gates on delays or reverbs. The reason I put this on is because I like a lot of long delays in reverbs. I think it just sounds really, really lush and adds this like cool glue to kind of lock everything in. But if you get too long, it gets so muddy and so overwhelming that you like lose the ability to actually have a good, clean mix. So we've developed this gating process so that you can reclaim your headroom. Think of it like this. Let's say you have a bunch of repeats going on, and there's some weird notes, and then you're changing to the next note. If there's enough sounds between those notes to have the gate be triggered, it's going to get rid of all the delay sounds so you don't hear them. But as soon as you play another note, it's going to open the gate back up, and whatever was still cycling back in that delay feedback loop is going to get pulled back in. And so you get this anharmonic music, and it adds to like chaos that doesn't really need to be there. And if you put this in hard mode, this is a really unique process that we developed that makes this a forgetful gate. So this is our headroom preservation engine. It's going to just clear all that stuff out of the mix so that once the gate reopens, it's like a clean slate. So it just manages your headroom in a way that no other plugin does, especially if your music is fast, textured, or transient heavy, which to my rock and metal people, that's kind of you guys. But once you figure out how to dial this in and use it for your music, it's really, really hard to go back to anything else. And don't forget, we got a global wet and dry knob here. So if you're mixing and then all of a sudden you get to the mastering stage, you're like, oh my God, there's way too much reverb because this thing is so fun to play with. You just want to put it on everything. You can just come here and just pull it down. This plugin is workflow focused. So let's play with it. Let's get it on some instruments, see how it sounds. Let's get it on the vocals and dial something in.
In the spiral of you thought you tried.
I'm going to add a little bit of feedback to give it a little bit more length.
Thought you try to stay mindful, but everybody wants to go.
Let's grind it up, make it grimy.
Everybody wants to go.
Here, you can hear this.
Can you show me how you see through the wall?
And again, when the headphone is engaged, we're listening to just the delay sound. Listen to how smooth and awesome this THD knob is, this tape saturation.
So just swipe up. Nothing I could do would be enough.
There's no oversampling because we looked through the scientific literature. We found better methods that give you better results for less CPU. So we actually made our own anti-aliasing algorithm to make this as efficient and clean as possible. We've done our due diligence here. Let's focus it up and make the vocal have less bass.
Love, know the highs don't equate to your phone.
And then again, soften to get rid of any of those sharp sibilant sounds that make their way into the delay chain.
Lonely, we're only ever felt
Awesome.
what you can.
Sounding great. Let's add a little space. Diffuse that echo.
No one gives a if you're happy, yet nobody wants to be ignored.
It already sounds so good. Let's duck some of the signal so we can bring back a little bit more clarity and keep those vocals right up front.
Nothing I could do would be enough of that dopamine.
I'm gonna use the soft mode.
Fake love, know the highs don't equate to your falls.
Oh, it's beautiful. I'm gonna go half note on the release because I like how it slowly lifts it up at a half note speed.
What you can't be, no one gives a if you're.
Yeah, I'm digging that. All right, let's get crazy. Let's add our ping pong delay. It's gonna give it some massive width here.
If you're happy.
So while dialing this in, I just want to hear the ping pong. So again, I'm just gonna click on the solo button here.
Nobody wants to be ignored.
Let's diffuse that ping pong delay with the room. Give it a little length. And then let's duck it a little bit just so it doesn't get too crazy on us. Sync it to half note. No, whole note. Digging that. If we want to just raise up that ping pong, you just turn the volume up.
See through the walls.
Oh, it's so smooth. I love it. Let's throw that wide on here. I want you guys to hear what this does. So with the wide mode, what I really like to do is get the time nice and short. Somewhere like less than 30 milliseconds. And it just makes your brain not be able to like spatially identify exactly what's going on. And it just makes the vocal sound crazy wide.
Wipe up, nothing I could do would be enough of that dopamine rush you learn to fake love.
Doesn't that have such a cool effect to it? We don't want that to be the main sound of the vocal. We want it to be at the spot where you can just barely hear it and then pull it down a little bit more, where people are just like, yo, like what do you have in your vocal? Let's see what it sounds like in the mix.
Everybody wants to go viral. Can you show me how you see?
So let's turn that ping pong down a little bit. It's too loud.
So just swipe up. Nothing I could do would be enough of that dopamine rush you learn to fake love. Know the highs don't equate to your falls.
And then we can actually push the feedback up a little bit more. And let's be a little bit more aggressive with our ducking. That way, we can really drive the feedback so that the delays continue over those long gaps. But we're going to release it slowly enough so that it just kind of maintains this nice, repeating, like, velvet.
Thought you try to stay mindful, but everybody wants to
yes.
go. Can you show me how you see
without it?
So just swipe up. Nothing I could do would be enough of that dopamine rush you'll learn to fake love. No, the highs don't equate to your falls.
There you go, guys. That's clarity delay. That was 3 years of my life right there. How does it sound on a synth? Let's go to a fun, really aggressive synth. Oh, what do you know? When I mix this song, I use clarity delay on the synth. Check out what I did here, because this is actually a really, really fun thing to do. If you add all the channels, you can hard pan the first one as a quarter note, but put it as like a triplet or a dotted note, okay? And then on the second one, pan it the other side, and then make it the normal rhythmic pattern. And what you get is like this really fun syncopated delay thing. And this is so cool if you make polyrhythmic music. So it's almost like a ping pong delay, but you have like ultimate flexibility over how the pinging and ponging happens. If you do a lot of guitar playing, when you have these types of syncopated delays set up, it makes writing super fun. You can do stuff like half note, makes it sound like an alarm clock going off. But it adds this crazy sense of width, right? Without, with. And if you're getting too much of that sizzly high frequency stuff because we have it as a digital delay, you know, we can just grab this low pass filter and just shape the sound. Roll the low off because synth can sometimes have a lot of that too. And if you really want to hear what you're doing, click the solo button again. If you hold shift and then adjust up and down, that you can change the cue. And then again, if you control and click, it'll reset it. So grab, hold shift, and then you can adjust the cue, find the problematic frequencies. So it's kind of piercing there. Maybe we can lower that a little bit. Now that delay tail is super clean and pristine. The possibilities are endless. I even found a way to use it on drums. I'm just going to put it on here. Let's just show you. Just going to load up my drum setting. Drum room vibes. So if you don't have drum room mic, you can kind of simulate a drum room, but this does it in a fun and intelligent way where it's going to actively clean up rumble and harshness out of the drum room mic. It has its own kind of sound to it, but it can really enhance the feel of a drum kit and make it feel really, really big. So without anything, sounds pretty good, right? And listen to the decay tail. There's no boom. There's no weird cymbal ringing. It's super clean. And you can tighten it up how you want. You can change the sound of the reverb. I'm telling you. You can even duck it. You can literally duck it, have it be really pumpy. Why not? Let's just try it. Oh, that's cool. That's really cool. So it doesn't allow the reverb to get out of control when you do it this way. I might have to do this on my mixes. You can certainly try to recreate the sound using 7 or 8 other plugins, but I'm not sure if it'll ever sound the way that this does. I hope you can just get a sense for how excited I am to be using this plugin. Yes, some of it is because it's my own personal plugin, but the other part is the sound is inspirational to me. So if you liked what you heard, please go and check out Clarity Delay. I have a link to purchase this thing in the description. It helps to support me, Bobby from Raytown, not some mega corporation. And if for some reason Clarity Delay isn't working for you, all you have to do is send me an email within 30 days and I'll get you your money back. Clarity Delay has literally replaced 6 of my favorite plugins. I would have saved over $850 had I just made Clarity Delay sooner. But for real, I use Super Plate in my mixes. That's $150 from Sound Toys. I use Primal Tap all the time. That's another $100. And with the wide mode algorithm, that replaces Microshift for me. Another $100. Clarity Delay also literally replaced all of my Lexicon reverbs that I use, which are $500 when they're on sale. And I'm not exaggerating when I'm trying to convey the value that's built into this plugin. Clarity Delay currently sells for $99. If you have questions, drop them in the comments below. I will do my best to get back to you and answer any questions you have. And also, while you're in the comments, let me know what delays, reverbs, plugins you're using to make your vocals sound huge. And let me know what you thought of Clarity Delay. That's 3 years of my life I'm not getting back, but I promise I won't take too much offense to your comments. Since the plugin was launched, I'm already receiving a ton of feedback from people telling me how great it is and how it's their new go-to delay and reverb. I'm excited to hear what you think about it. I'm Bobby from Raytown Productions, and I'll see you in another video.